Straight ahead on 12 News, big bucks for a big game. But hear what a longtime Plymouth ticket broker says about those sky-high prices. Then,
Ponzi scammers! Ponzi scheme!
protesters outside a Liberian minister's office accusing a Brooklyn Park pastor of scamming African immigrants. And later,
they call it fusion football. Coming up, I'll tell you why some players say it's much safer.
12 News starts right now. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. I'm Mike Johnson.
And I'm Alexandra Renslow. Whenever the Green Bay Packers play the Vikings, tickets are tougher to get.
Now, factor in a new stadium, and there's major money to be had. But as Eric Nelson reports, one Plymouth ticket broker says just because prices are sky high doesn't mean sellers will get it.
It's an amazing rivalry. It's a new stadium, first regular season game ever. People are going to want to be inside.
Green Bay, Minnesota tickets are a coveted commodity this week. Demand is higher than the IDS Tower.
The demand is sky high. People are really desperate to get inside that stadium. They want to say they were there for the first game. They want to say they were there for the game where the Vikes and Green Bay hooked up for the first time in US Bank Stadium.
However, it is buyer beware for fans trying to get inside US Bank Stadium, Minnesota's shiny new glass house.
For a scammer, this is opportunity written all over it.
Counterfeit scams are common at major events like this. Some fans get suckered, buy phony tickets, and lose lots of cash.
You want to be very careful. You want to make sure that the ticket's legitimate. And I think you want to ask the person selling the ticket, hey, show me a valid ID, let me take your picture. And if they won't do that, you can probably be pretty sure something's up.
Dan Hendrickson of the Better Business Bureau says the safest way to purchase tickets is through the Vikings, Ticketmaster, or NFL Ticket Exchange.
It would be really heartbreaking to pay that top dollar, get to the gate, and find out you're not getting in.
The other option is using the secondary market. Tickets on StubHub range from $182 to a whopping $10,000.
It gets a little bit annoying to hear those kind of reports where they say tickets are going for $10,000. That's not what they're going for. That's what somebody might be asking.
Plymouth's Jay Gabbert has been a ticket broker for 15 years.
So if you want to get in, you're going to get in. Sure. There's too many tickets. It's a big stadium. There's too many tickets.
Gabbert agrees there is huge interest in this border battle, but believes prices will drop to $100 by game time.
It's also a Sunday night game, which might keep some of the out-of-town people away, might keep some of the Packers away, whereas normally they'd come in if it was a noon game, because they can drive in the morning, go out at night.
Jay Gabbert is selling more than tickets on Sunday night. He is also hoping to cash in on these souvenir T-shirts that celebrate the first ever game at US Bank Stadium. I'm Eric Nelson, Channel 12 News. According to Dan Hendrickson of the Better Business Bureau, ticket scamming has become a cottage industry and is an easy way for scammers to make money.
After an uptick in home burglaries this summer, Maple Grove residents are getting another reminder to lock their doors and their cars. Police held a community meeting Thursday to tell homeowners how they can prevent burglaries and keep an eye out for anything suspicious. Burglaries in the northern part of the city were attributed to thieves using garage door openers to get inside. The good news is those burglaries have declined.
These primarily happened over the last month and a half to 2 months. We've had a low number of burglaries for about the last year and a half, and it's just this last 2 months. And over the past couple of weeks, we've actually seen them drop off significantly.
The investigation continues, but police say the people responsible may have been arrested in another city. Victims of an alleged Ponzi scheme made their voices heard in Brooklyn Park.
Ponzi schemes! Ponzi schemes! Ponzi scammers! Ponzi scammers!
About a dozen people demonstrated at the offices of the Liberian Ministers Association. The protesters accused the organization's executive director, Pastor Alexander Collins, being part of a group that got local African immigrants involved in a fraudulent investment opportunity. The protesters allege that it was really a Ponzi scheme that cost investors hundreds of thousands of dollars.
We have pastors that misled good people in our community and told them that these things was on the up and up and they couldn't lose on this, only to find out that it was fraudulent. You know, it was a get-rich scheme to fill their pockets.
Harding Smith says a court hearing on the alleged Ponzi scheme is scheduled for October. Pastor Collins did not immediately return a call seeking comment.
Brace yourself for more traffic headaches on I-494. Traffic has been shifted to the southbound lanes between the Fish Lake Interchange and Highway 55. There are 2 lanes in each direction and will remain that way until November 4th. And this weekend, westbound traffic along I-694 will be closed for bridge painting work. The closure is between I-35W in New Brighton and Highway 252 in Brooklyn Center. I-694 will be back open by 5 a.m. Monday morning.
One of the sure signs that fall is here is when the Boo-tique opened shop at Arks Value Village. And volunteers were on hand to sort through the merchandise and get it out on the floor before the Boo-tique opens on Saturday. Used Halloween costumes and decorations are a big draw at the thrift store, which has 5 locations, including Brooklyn Center and New Hope.
Huge deal. People look forward to it all year round. People start calling August, when's your boutique opening? They get excited for the costumes. They also find all sorts of fun vintage clothing, things they can't find anywhere else.
The shop is open until Halloween. Profits from Arks Value Village go to support programs for people with disabilities in the Twin Cities. On Saturday, Brooklyn Park Police hosts the 2nd annual Community Diversity Day. The free multicultural event offers live music and activities from China, Laos, Liberia, Mexico, and Somalia. It runs from 2 to 5 p.m. Saturday at Central Park. Free ice cream will be offered while supplies last. Coming up, a new type of football making its way to more schools.
And see why fusion football is becoming more popular. And then a little bit later in sports, Park Center aims to keep its winning streak going in boys soccer.
But first, the skies clear up for the weekend. Sunday looks especially nice.
A new type of football is debuting this year at some local schools in the Northwest Metro.
It's called fusion football, and as reporter Sonia Goen shows us, it's getting more 7th and 8th graders into the game.
Swing right. Ready, go.
All right, boys, let's get it.
The Brett Mustangs are ready for some fusion football. It was developed this year to make the game safer for players.
We're trying to reduce concussions now with any sport. If you fall down and hit your head or whatever, I mean, those things still can happen. What we're doing is eliminating collisions.
Now this is still football. It's still very physical. You just can't grab a player and throw him to the ground.
You can still block, you can still engage, but there's no tackling.
Players wear a so-called tackle bar, sort of like flag football, with the goal of going after the opponent's bar.
This is the tackle bar. It's got 1 bar in front, just a Velcro piece, and then there's 2 in the back. That's how the runner is called down, is when one of those bars get pulled off.
And there are some different rules in fusion football. It's 9-on-9 players, and instead of 10 yards, players go for 20 for a first down.
Once they're inside the 10, they can have 4 downs to score inside the 10.
And they've eliminated the kickoff. The ball is placed at the 30-yard line after a change of possession.
We're still punting, but there are no punt returns. We still want the kids to work on the skills as far as snapping and kicking and receiving the ball.
This type of football has scored big with some players who would otherwise be left out of the game.
I especially like it because my parents wouldn't let me do tackle, so it's really fun to do that.
Breck officials say fusion football has added more players to their roster.
Last year we had 14, and we're almost to, I think we're to 24, 26, right in that number when everybody's at practice.
In Golden Valley, Sonia Goins, 12 News.
Brooklyn Center and Providence Academy are also playing in the league. Coming up, the fall theater season kicks off in Osseo with a Broadway classic.
But first, Armstrong and Totino-Grace battle in a 5-set marathon on the volleyball court. John Jacobson has that and more up next in sports.
We start with a real good volleyball matchup with all kinds of twists and turns in this one.
You never know how it's going to happen until that last game, the last point is served, right? Volleyball is a sport of momentum, and early leads don't always hold up. And that sure was true. 2 local squads meeting up in a match that turned around completely. Totino-Grace visiting Armstrong in a Northwest Suburban Conference match. First set, and Armstrong gets the pass, then the set, and finally the kill by Brenna Meyer for a point for a 21-20 lead. Falcons win 25-22. Armstrong carries the momentum into the second set. Falcons turn the overpass into a point. Kelsey Ripberger with the kill. Falcons win the second set 25-19. They're up 2-0. But the Eagles start to come back in the third set. Nice dig by Isabel Summers. Maddie Schaefer the set. Eliza Dolly the kill. And the Eagles lead 21-13 on the way to a 25-14 win. Fourth set, the Eagles cruising again. Morgan McDonough there with the serve. Dolly gets up to block the Falcons' attack. Grace wins again, 25-18 this time. And the Eagles complete the comeback in the fifth set. They control play right from the start. And they win 15-5, taking the match 3-2 over Armstrong. After a season-opening loss in the Side-Out Classic last month, the Osseo volleyball team had rattled off 4 straight wins. They met a Park Center team Thursday looking for its first conference win of the season. First set, and off the Park Center serve, the pass comes to Lane Ruska, who gets the back set to Azaria Reed. Osseo leads 7-4. Park Center keeps it close. Sydney Workin sets the ball to Michaela Hayes for the attack and kill. The Pirates are within 2 at 13-11. Osseo goes on a run late. Taylor Kwan passing to Ellie Hoyt, who sets up All-State middle hitter Tina Bowe for the kill. Orioles win 25-16. The second set is almost all Osseo. Ruska sets up Hoyt for the cross-court shot and kill. And on set point, it's Hoyt with a quick set to Bowe for the 25th point. And the Orioles win 25-9 to go up 2-0. Osseo wins in 3 straight. They improved to 4-0 in the Northwest Suburban Conference. The Orioles will play in the Farmington tournament on Saturday. Park Center's boys soccer team is on a good roll. Their Tuesday win over 2-time defending state class AA champion Anoka was the Pirates' 3rd straight shutout win. They look to continue that run against Spring Lake Park. The best chance in the first half by the Panthers' Paul Aguirre, but the leaping save made by Salvador Salado for the Pirates. After a 30-minute thunder delay in the second half, Park Center strikes. The throw-in headed into the mix by Brendan Brocky and Sam Dixon there to chip it in for a 1-0 lead. That holds up. Pirates go on to win 1-0. Wayzata is the 3-time defending state champion in girls swimming and diving, but they'll get some good tests in late conference meets. Trojans were at home against Eden Prairie at Lifetime Fitness Thursday. Wayzata's Carly Quast, Alyssa Marquette, Alexis Schaff, and anchor Cindy Zhao raced to the win easily in the 200 medley relay in a time of 1 minute, 48.33 seconds. Quast is a defending state champ in the 200 freestyle. He rolls to a win in that event, her time 156.32. 200 IM, pretty good battle. Eden Prairie's Jenny Novak edges Jordan McGinnity of Wayzata by 31 hundredths of a second to take the race, her time 209.02. Quats takes the top spot in the 50 freestyle as well. Wayzata wins the meet over Eden Prairie 95-86. Some big Friday night football matchups, including Armstrong and Armstrong and Cooper, Wayzata Prior Lake, and Hopkins Eden Prairie, among many tonight.
All right, Friday Night Lights, shining bright, right? Thanks, John. In local vote 2016, 2 candidates are running to represent Plymouth in the Minnesota House.
Republican Sarah Anderson is running for her 6th term in House District 44A. She is running against Democrat Ginny Klevorn, who works as a professional mediator.
Hello, my name is Ginny Klevorn. I'm excited to be a first-time candidate running in House District 44A. In Plymouth, we work hard. We help each other succeed. Like you, I value education and safety in our community. I will work hard to keep our community strong and protect our quality of life. As a professional mediator, I bring people together to bridge differences and achieve better outcomes. Using my professional skills, I will work with all Minnesotans to improve education, invest in our roads and bridges, work for seniors, and level the playing field for small businesses. Together, we can build a brighter future. My name is Ginny Klevorn. I'm asking for your vote on November 8th. Thank you.
I'm State Representative Sarah Anderson. I'm proud to serve Plymouth residents. As your state representative, I passed legislation expanding Highway 494 and investing $5.5 billion in transportation funding. I supported bipartisan measures to grow high-paying jobs, voting for $2 billion in tax relief for you, small businesses, and our high-tech sector, For our kids, I voted for funding all-day kindergarten for every Plymouth child, investing more in our schools, smaller class sizes, and keeping the best teachers in the classroom. I led the charge for increasing early childhood education funding and to lower the cost of childcare. For college students, I voted for bipartisan legislation to drive down college tuition. Growing jobs, making government smaller and smarter, and putting students first are my priorities. Again, I'm State Representative Sarah Anderson, and I ask for your support.
Still ahead, a Broadway classic makes it to the Yellow Tree Theater in Osseo.
And we will have a preview next in Weekend Showcase.
It's a big Saturday in Golden Valley for arts and music. The City Festival features the work of local artists along with live music and dancing. It all takes place on the City Hall campus near the Water Tower. A parade kicks off at 9:30 Saturday morning. Yellow Tree Theater kicks off its fall season this weekend with a 20th century classic.
And Neil Persley has more in today's Weekend Showcase.
I'll show you all the towns because America's full of beautiful towns. And fine, upstanding people, and they know me, boys. They know me up and down New England. And when I bring you fellows up, there'll be open sesame for all of us. Because one thing, boys, I got friends.
It's such a gripping family story. It's one of the iconic family stories that we have in the American theater. So, you know, you just see a family that loves each other so much. And when you see those bonds break, it's just heartbreaking.
Biff, I swear to God, Biff, his life is in your hands.
Death of a Salesman by Arthur Miller has stood the test of time.
Couldn't make it, Linda. I just couldn't make it.
Patrick Coyle plays a superb Willie Loman.
They say check in 50 years and see if anybody still cares about a play that's been written. And this play was written 65 years ago. It's just as resonant today. It's just as impactful and powerful today as it was in 1949.
Coyle's father was a salesman born the same year as Arthur Miller.
So they were men of, you know, the same generation. And Willie's language, his sales patter in the play is just so familiar to me because it's that of my father's. And so preparing for this play, it's been, you know, like I said, personal, but it's also like my dad's been sitting next to me the whole time.
If you've read the play but never seen it, this would be a golden opportunity as Yellow Tree Theater puts on a performance you won't soon forget.
It's almost impossible to come away from this and not have shed a few tears and to find out where your life intersects with this life, you know, in the relationship between parents and children, between husband and wife.
For Weekend Showcase, I'm Neil Persley, 12 News.
Death of a Salesman at Yellow Tree Theater in Osseo runs this weekend through October 16th. And that's all for us. Thanks so much for joining us.
Have a good weekend, everyone. We'll see you again on Monday.